There's the supply beacon. Grab it so I can call in the drop. That's the last pod. Destroy the supplies. Their crimes just lit up. They're not happy about what you just did.
Hey guys, me again, you know who I am, and today I'm here with a build for you guys. So the idea behind this build was I sort of wanted to roleplay a bit what a ranger would be like in Warframe. And this build seemed to do the trick. It's pretty satisfying to play. Now, it's not the most viable build in the world as it really only works in the plains, though there is a way to get it to work in everywhere else, but you have to switch up some weapons. Now this build really clicked with me because you have to play a certain way for it to work. On top of this, our companion plays a big role in the build as well. So first off, play style. So since Avara is pretty squishy, playing near the objective is not ideal, especially in the plains where there's a lot of AoE damage just getting tossed around with the mortars and the rockets and stuff like that. So what I do is sit on the far edges of the mission area, preferably on a hill where I could just rain death from afar, dealing massive AoE damage with the lens. Now you're probably wondering, if I'm so far away from the action, how on earth do I get ammo since the lens only has 6 shots? And that's where our companion of choice comes in. I have a Sahasa Kubro, and I've set her up so dig takes first priority, and she does it very often. Now there's a few things that will stop your Kubro from digging, and you should probably know. Now, these 4 things are when your Kubro's in combat, obviously your Kubro's not going to dig. When a Kubro can't reach the surface you're on, so when your Kubro's not very close to you, if you're on like a hill or a rock or something and the Kubro just refuses to jump up there, then obviously they're not going to dig up there. The Kubro can't dig on that said surface, and when your Kubro is out of energy. Now yes, Kubros and companions do use energy, and that problem is basically alleviated by having Zenric Focus School and just giving them energy really, really fast. And that basically solves that problem, so you won't even have to worry about that too often. You really don't have to worry about these things, because all that really means is stay far, far away from enemies, and keep your Kubro out of combat, which is easy for Avara since she has Prowl, which keeps the dog cloaked. And find a place where the dog can easily get to. Thankfully, someone at DE keeps adding surfaces that's the Sahasa Kubro can dig on. So you don't even have to worry about surfaces you can't dig on too much, because they'll probably just be patched in eventually. So like about 3 months ago, which is when I was first started playing with this build, there was a lot of surfaces I wasn't able to dig on. I was only able to dig on ground and a few rocks, but now it seems to have been like I can have the Kubro dig basically wherever I want now. There's only been one real surface that the Kubro has not been able to dig on, and that's the nets, but Kubro can't get there anyway, so don't even worry about that. The cool thing about dig is it gives you things you need, and not just ammo. Dig can give you health and energy orbs when you're not full on HP or energy, and that's what keeps this build energy efficient without running out of energy very instantly, because we're going to be using Navigator a lot through this build, as you can see in the footage here. Navigator is basically the bread and butter skill that makes us be able to hit those long range shots, but the drain constantly being more and more is kind of a pain. Now thankfully the dog gives us energy orbs, so we don't even have to worry about that too often, and I do have max efficiency on this build, and it's a tad bit of duration to keep us afloat here. So it doesn't drain that much energy, and even when it does, it's not a problem because our dog restocks us up on energy. And using all this, we can basically make it so the lens has infinite ammo without jumping into the action directly, without having to actively look for ammo. And that's amazing. Alright, so now for the build. Since we're using Navigator a whole bunch, we're going to be focusing on efficiency and power strength with a little bit of duration on there. And range doesn't really matter as far as Navigator goes, but if I want to use my other abilities, I don't want this to be in the negative. So that's why I not have any range increasing or decreasing mods there. Now I do have 3 health increasing mods, and I sort of just did that just because, just to make Avara not squishy, or not as squishy as she normally is, but she's still kind of squishy, especially in the highest level bounty out in the plains. She's still definitely squishy, and she can get one shot by rockets. And in case an enemy does sneak up behind us, that's what these mods are for. So It gives us time to react and get away from the situation. And that's what the Redeemer is for on our build as well, to be a close range alternative. Now what I also have here for the aura is Energy Siphon. This is mostly for Artemis Bow. Artemis Bow with maximum efficiency only costs 3 energy per shot, that's super low. And Energy Siphon makes it so that we sort of just get that energy back over time. On top of this, we also have the Zenarch Focus School, so the arrows basically cost nothing from Artemis Bow if we ever need to use that. Alright, now I do have Streamline Form just to switch weapons faster. That's all it's really there for. Now you can swap. Now what you can do here is, if you don't have this, what you can do is you can swap this out for something like Thieves Wit. That will give you more loot radar. And if you don't have Augur Secrets, which I know quite a few of you don't, because it's pretty expensive mod, but I farmed it, you can just replace that for Power Drift and you're fine. But other than that, it's just those mods are personal preference, as well as this third health increasing mod is personal preference. Now the reason I don't use the augment is because with the augment, to get the crit chance increase, you need to have your projectile pass through things, and the lens doesn't have a punch through, or it does, it just doesn't have a whole lot. And so basically, if we hit something without killing it, it's not going through that target, so we won't get the crit chance increase anyways, and it's a very low increase on top of that, so it's not even really needed. Now for the lens build. So the lens build, I've only really changed one mod from my previous lens video, and that was Hammershot was here actually, and I ended up swapping Hammershot out for Vigilante Armaments just because the multi-shot is a must. Now you could put Hunter Munitions here to make it like stronger, but I prefer to have it this way. Now the Arco Cisco I have as my secondary, and I only really have this to just have a backup hit scan weapon with a scope on it. Now the build I have on it isn't very complete. If I add one more format to this, I'm going to replace this with Augur Pact just to give it that extra damage. I probably can hit 100% status chance if I put another dual stat, fully ranked dual stat here, keep in mind, but it's definitely not worth it, especially on a pistol. It's more worth it on a shotgun, something like that. And the Redeemer. So this is what I have on the Redeemer. Now the Redeemer build, I'm only really using it for the knockback. It's just the quick blast, the knockback, that gets the enemy away from me, so I don't have to shoot it with my lens and hopefully not hit myself. So just kills at close range, basically. So it's my actual secondary weapon. Now I have the Kubro set up, like I said, for digging, and that being its first priority. Now the companions have this old priority system that I just kind of want removed, but priority system works basically, so this is slot 1 and this is slot 10. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, basically, and it does these actions based on priorities. So you're gonna want to have any ability cards up here, basically, but I only have one, and that would be dig, and I'm having that first. Other than that, these are just mods that increase the survivability of my Kubro and have increases usefulness, being Animal Instinct. Animal Instinct is a must-have on all companions. But other than that, I have Link Health, gives it more health. It gives about 2,000 health with Avara of all those health increasing mods. Link Shields, even though I don't have any shield mods, just because. And health regen, and this is helpful. And of course, this is also pretty helpful. So basically dealing damage, say if your Kubro gets aggroed by, say, like a napalm and it's going down, if you don't even notice, dealing damage will just heal it. So you probably won't even notice it's taking damage. So it won't go down as easy, but even if it does go down, you have Medipet Kit, which increases his bleed out timer by a lot. So now I don't have any damage here because I don't plan on Lasasa Kubro doing damage at all. But if it does, it doesn't do a lot, so I'll just shoot the enemy myself. Now, there is a way you can use this build indoors, outside of the planes, because this build really, as fun as it is, it doesn't really work well in the indoor tile sets, like the Corpus tile set, because you'd have to deal with doors, and doors, especially on the lens, like if the door's shut, you're not getting through that. But with another weapon with extra punch through, you would. Now, if you're going to use this indoors, switch out the lens for something that has hunting munitions on it and has like viral damage on it. I have corrosive damage on this, but the reason I suggest this for indoors is mainly this is a stat stick for Artemis Bow, so it doesn't really matter what weapon you pick. But if I swap this out here for cold damage to make viral, and I have hunter munitions here, Basically, our primary weapon becomes Artemis Bow. And since we have such a low energy cost for Artemis Bow per shot, it's super worth it to do that. And being said, now that you switch the lens out for something else, you don't have to use the Kubro anymore. You can use whatever Sentinel. And basically, your Artemis Bow becomes Pocket Tigris Prime with these mods on. So I'm going to show you this real fast. Now, Artemis Bow also takes on the sort of a similar IPS to whatever primary weapon you have equipped. So you might want to keep that in mind as well. So honestly, you could switch to Raktasirnos for like the Dread or something. Or something like the Corinth, maybe. Stuff like that. But I'm just going to show you with the Raktasirnos. We have our 150. We're going to have invincibility turn on because this is just a damage test. And I haven't got a viral proc yet, but as you can see, that was 3 shots. That target's already dead. So that's insane. Artemis Bow does a lot of work. So if you're going to be using this build indoors, just use a stat stick for Artemis Bow instead of the lens, and you should be fine. Other than that, thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.